Hey everybody, good to see you. I kiss and hugs. I might know an artist who might be working on some sunset landscapes. I might have to talk to her later on about that. Um, I think we might as well get going because we're starting to get into some really good parts in Gabriel Knight, and I'm excited to keep going. Right, Moscow. I don't know any artists. There's nobody in the community who does any kind of art. It's horrible. I'm gonna need to get that fixed. Alrighty. Let's see, where are we? I need to. I don't need to open the newspaper. I need to pick up the newspaper.
Times-Picayune, dated June 22nd, 1993. Disgusted with the state of the voodoo murder case, Gabriel turns right to his horoscope. The shadow upon you is no longer reversible.
Wonderful.
Hey, Midnight. Yeah, Shang-Chi is a good movie. If that's where you want to go, that's good. You can always check out the VOD.
My kidney's already floating, thanks.
Alright. Let's talk to Grace. Yes.
Got a minute, Grace?
Today is
What's
Kiss's
up?
birthday eve. Ooh. What does Grace know about Damballa?
Have you ever heard of Dumbala?
Ooh, no. Makes my skin crawl, though.
Does Ogun Badakri mean anything to you?
No. Sorry.
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Could you do some research for me?
Don't
Sure. What?
think there's any research we need to do. Oh, no.
Could you research Rada drums for me?
Rhododrum? Sure. I don't think we have any books on that topic in the shop, but I'll contact our suppliers. Assuming any of them will extend you any credit.
Tell them it's an emergency.
Uh-huh. I can see where a Rhododrum book would be incredibly urgent. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I will definitely see what I can do to avenge Crash. Tell Eric I said hi. Let's see, I think... Oh yes, I've got some stuff here. Let's go back here. I had received Gunther's journal.
Gabriel reads through the pages Wolfgang marked. He reads of Gunter Ritter's journey to Charleston as witch hunter, hired by the townsmen to solve a series of ritualistic murders. He reads about Gunter's meeting with a beautiful slave woman, Tetelo, and of Gunter's tormenting urges for her.
Oh, bastard.
He reads of their physical union and passion, and of Gunter's investigations into the murders. The victims were all crew members on a certain slaving expedition to Africa, it seemed. The second to the last entry described Gunter's
Have fun,
plan
Midnight.
to set a trap for the coven committing the murders. He found the name of one of the surviving members of the crew, a man now living in the West Indies. Gunter has spread a false rumor that the man is returning to Charleston. He himself will impersonate a sailor and allow himself to fall into the hands of the coven. Naturally, Gunter has arranged for able-bodied assistants to follow and attack the coven before they can do him harm.
Ballsy son of a bitch, wasn't he?
Gabriel turns to the final entry of the journal.
Okay, so I guess I have to read this myself. So, dear Father, I offer these final words as apology for the harm done to our sacred office. The woman I wrote of, Tetelo, was the witch I sought. I have committed terrible crimes. I loved this witch, then betrayed her, and then used our sacred family power to free her and aid her in destroying this colony. The talisman is gone. Tetelo took it. I can but pray for thy forgiveness, for thy swift recovery of the talisman, and that my punishment in hell will be long and bitter. And I don't know why the game just closed like that. Thy undeserving son, Gunter. So Gunter did some bad things. And this is actually a good time to maybe save this. And we'll just go back to our bookstore save. And show you guys something that provides backstory. When this game first came out, it came out with a comic that was a bit of a prologue that didn't make any sense. Um, and you could play the game to start to get the context of everything. I thought it was a better idea to look at things from Gabriel's perspective and not actually show that comic until we got a little more perspective on what Gabriel was doing. So, there's a copy of that comic included in the 20th Anniversary Edition remake that I just want to hop into so we can go over the comic. So we got the graphic novel here. Yes, kiss and hugs. He was very thirsty, and that was his problem. So this is the comic that came, Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers, suggested for mature audiences, but this audience will do since we can't find a mature one. Sins of the Fathers, written by Jane Jensen. In the woods outside Charleston, South Carolina, June 1693. The village elders gather at the site of a brutal ritualistic murder. What sayest thou, Mayor Crodwell? Not again. This is the sixth. All eyes turn to a short, square man. I say devils from hell are among us. 'Tis worse than the trouble they had up north. Mother of God, protect us. The grim vigil is broken by the sound of a horseman's galloping approach. An oddly dressed stranger dismounts. Thou art the witch hunter? Ja, Herr Ritter, as thou requested. And paid well for. I am Mayor Crodwell, and these good brothers are from the Charleston Council. I trust thy journey over the seas was uneventful? I was well protected. So shalt we be now that thou art with us. And the big focus here is on this talisman, which we have actually seen before in the game. The witch hunter rejects further formalities, turning instead to the gory scene spread out before him. 'Tis the work of witches, if not the devil himself. I must make that determination, Herr Crodwell. Well, when the witch hunter finally answers, his voice is grim. Ja, it is witchcraft. There can be no doubt. The witch hunter will find the guilty one. Thank Jehovah. The sound of a delicate footfall quiets the angry men. Into their midst comes one who shines like copper in the bright moonlight. Eliza, why art thou here? A letter for the witch hunter, master. Give it to me, child. As their eyes meet, something passes between the witch hunter and the slave. Something like recognition. Dear Father, I received thy missive. It's not terribly long, but it is kind of important. Dear Father, I received thy missive. I know thou art angry, but my journey here was not in vain. The colonists here have stumbled upon a true evil. Magic dark and old. It is unlike anything I have seen on the continent. Please write me more about thy work in St. Dominique. There is a pattern around the bodies that recalls thy stories of those killings. I shall begin to question the local slaves. Do not fear. The talisman will protect me. I only do my best to fill thy shoes as Schottenjäger, beloved father. As thou hast oft told me, we must prepare to sacrifice all. Your son, Gunther. At the end of a scorching summer day spent investigating, Gunter Ritter finds himself at the slave quarters of Mayor Crodwell. The sight of a familiar figure is a welcome relief. Mistress Eliza, might I trouble thee? It is very hot in thy colony. Wouldst thou have some water? 'Tis not my colony. Come inside before you fall down. So, you are the famous witch hunter. That is why I am here? Why do you do that? Hunt witches. There are things that should not be. Ha! Yes, witch hunter, there are many things which should not be. Tell me about thyself, Eliza. The woman stares at her question, unable to fathom his interest. But when his face remains sincere, she finds herself speaking. The bitterness in her voice surprises her. What is there to tell? My real name is Tetelo. My people were strong and beautiful. My father led them to prosperity until few survived the slavers. I was taken to the West Indies. Later, when my first master died, I was brought by Crodwell. He brought me here. Is he good to thee? Good? Are you mad, witch hunter? The door bursts open, breaking the moment. Eliza, my pretty one. Herr Ritter, I did not expect to find thee still about. It is long past sunset. Gunther finds himself strangely embarrassed. I was just leaving. Good night, Mayor. The next day, Gunther follows a lead to the Crow's Nest, a seaman's tavern. So the victims have all been seamen? That's what I said. Men round here are getting awfully jumpy. Last man went down was a captain. Nay, he'd been a slaver once, but gave it up, you know. From the Merchant's Pride? Too much blood in it for him. Some are squeamish about such things. As he heads through town, Gunter sees a distant flash of skirt and hurries to catch up. Mistress Tetelo, good day. Might I aid thee with those packages? Don't call me that. Eliza is my name. Do you want to get us both in trouble? I am a slave. I am sorry, Eliza. There are no slaves where I come from. I am not familiar with the proper procedure. Forgive me. We are not in your homeland, nor mine. If you owned me, I would have to accept your attentions. Since you do not, leave me alone. That night, Gunther cannot sleep. He struggles with an oppressive restlessness, an anxiety he cannot name. The light tapping at the door takes a moment to register. Yes? Tetelo. Yes, I want you to tell me about it. About what? Your homeland. Yeah, certainly. Please take a seat. Gunther finds himself telling the beautiful slave about his father, about their family role of Schottenjäger, shadow hunter, destroyers of evil, about the talisman that goes with the title. Yes, I can feel the totem's power and yours. I am tormented by thoughts of thee, Tetelo. I want such things. A white man would not understand. It is called Zingsti, the unbidden. When a man and a woman are brought together by the universe, they have no choice. There is always a reason. A child must be born, a village saved. To fight it is a living death. Yes, I can see that. You would not have come to me? I did not want to be like the others. Good. It is better that I choose it myself. You understand? Yes. Later, this will be very challenging. I hope the universe knows what it is doing. So, my love, do I. Several weeks later, in the office of Mayor Crodwell. Witch hunter, thou hast been in Charleston for 6 weeks. I want this witch caught. There is progress. The patterns, the rituals, my father has encountered it before. The magic is African. African? African? Thou art saying our slaves are responsible? I shall kill every in the state, by God, insolent bastards. Be calm. A massacre is not the answer. I am sure there are no more than 5 or 6 involved. These covens work in secret. Art thou sure this is not simply an excuse for spending so much time in my slave quarters? No. Give me one more night. I've set a trap. By tomorrow thou wilt have thy witch. It had better be so. The example we make of this coven shall never be forgotten. And then thou, Herr Ritter, can go home. That same night. Oh, the sea, she is a terrible mistress. Hic. Who? Hic. Where are my men? Where are my... Crack. So he clearly has just gotten the crap beat out of him. He fights the darkness to the throbbing of drums. The witch hunter thought of the perfect trap, and into it had fallen the one person he had least expected, himself. When consciousness returns, he finds it stranger than any dream. Dambala Owedo o Clevermont, Ogun Badagri in Tidernos. I can't pronounce those words correctly. Dambala, our great serpent god, come and aid your people. Ogun Badagri, vengeance is taken, power recalled, blood for blood, as your thirsty jaws demand. As the dagger plunges towards him, Gunther calls on his master, Mein Gott. The talisman crackles with energy. And suddenly the witch sees the man beneath her. The lovers stare at each other in Hunter. Gunther? No, it cannot be thee. Before the two can recover, Gunther's men make their belated attacks. God take thee, witches. The men of the coven fight bravely, but a surprise in numbers take their tolls. A trap? They will kill thee. Go now. Run, Tetelo. In a horrified daze, Gunther watches his men capture the coven, then without a word, he slips away to confront the witch herself. I know you do not understand. I beg you, hear me speak. I am waiting. My father was not just a chief, he was a black Bokur, shaman to the dark god that gave our tribe power. There came a terrible drought. Nothing my father did appeased the gods. After many died, Ogun Badagri finally answered. He named the price of rain. Me. My father thought he could trick Ogun Badagri. He transferred my soul temporarily into the body of another girl. And then he killed her. But Ogun Badagri was not fooled. Angry at my father's betrayal, Ogun sent the white men. Our people fought hard and were slaughtered. Everyone still living was taken. Many more died on the voyage. But why kill these men now? What good can it do? Ogun is willing to forgive, but to regain power, our captors must die or our humiliation revenged. I cannot let thee continue. I cannot forget. Of course you cannot. I have been living for the past, but since you came, I have seen other paths for me. Together, you and I. I knew it was thee I sought all this time, and thou let me love thee? Let you love me? I had no choice. How do you think I felt in love with my own hunter? This was destined. You and I must make a new way together. No, I do not know. I must go think. Gunther, do not betray me. Mayor Crodwell, all were captured but the leader, a female. The witch hunter must still be on her trail. God has delivered this murderous coven of Satan unto us, so he will the witch. Yes, but who brought this witch among us? Thou, slave, thou speak her name. Thou speaketh not, and yet thy face is familiar. Looking into the coven's members' bloody copper-colored faces, a horrible realization comes to Crodwell. I know where to find her, and the witch hunter. Follow me. Meanwhile, alone in her cabin, Tetelo prepares a ritual circle, her tribe's veve, and enters the spirit world. Father, I call on you. Come speak with your daughter. Father, I have come to ask you. Please release me from my duty to the tribe. You would betray your own people? You did, for love. Perhaps it is better to let the tribe go. This is a new land there. There will be new people. There is a way outside the dark gods. These white men will never give you anything unless you use the power. You must destroy this man that tempts you. His kind will only despise you in the end. No, I do not believe that. Daughter, I command you. With a quick motion, the veve is smeared, the contact broken. No. Oh, Papa. In a clearing nearby, Gunter wrestles with demons of his own. God, give me an answer. The answer is not one he expected. Snake. Snakes are not good, typically. His revulsion and fear are instant. His dagger is in the air before he's conscious of the decision to throw it, or sees clearly its destination. As we can see, the snake that he thought it was in fact a dove, probably. Um, Brother Ritter, finally I find thee. They have found the witch. She was taken to the town square. They found who? Crodwell's slave woman, Eliza. She must have thought the devil would protect her, for she was still in her cabin. Never even tried to escape. Wait, I came to warn thee, Brother Ritter. Gunter reaches the town square where the soft glow of firelight fills him with terror. Crodwell, stop! What is it, witch hunter, or should I say witch lover? What dost thou imply? I ask for a fair trial. That is all. This is murder. Oh, and what is it called when town money is spent for a witch hunter and he protects the witch, lays with her in utter blasphemy? Perhaps the good townfolk would be interested in hearing this story. The crowd quiets and turns towards the two men, sensing a confrontation. But this, well, are you still under the power of her seductive ways? No, I merely wish to question the witch, but if thou wishes to burn her secrets with her, then do so, and quickly. Gunter? The witch hunter pushes his way with pretended coldness to the edge of the angry crowd, but he cannot make him go further. Gunter! Yeah, we're almost done. We're almost done. This is a lot of words, but we're almost to the significant part. He watches, transfixed, as the flames grow higher, and Tetelo, abandoned once more, begs her old gods for vengeance. Damballa, Odun Badagri, hear your wicked daughter. I call upon you to revenge your people. Destroy this town and all within. Damballa, great serpent, strike. But the only reply is the taunts of the hate-filled mob. Speak, witch, speak. Ha 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 ha. Thy devils cannot save thee. Burn, devil's whore. Her agony and humiliation twist in Gunter's mind. She, the martyr, the crowd, the howling demons. It cannot go on. No. Tetelo, I empower thee. God forgive me. The power of the talisman and the power of Tetelo's dark gods conjoin in a terrible synergy. The heavens boil over, bleed electricity, and hurls their destruction with deadly accuracy at the saints and sinners in the square below. Now, my brothers. And now all the zombies rise up. Tetelo's handful, freed from their bonds, attack. They are joined by Charleston's other slaves, the old gods fanning a spark they had forgotten was there. A hate they had swallowed too long. Mercy had been left in the fields of Africa in the holds of stinking slave ships. And it is Charleston that will pay this night. Gunter sits in the eye of the storm. While some part of his brain hears the sounds of the massacre, his eyes refuse to acknowledge it. He stares at the talisman in his hands as though focusing on a light, until even the light is polluted, and he can no longer deny. Look at me. He will not, he cannot. Look at me. You betrayed me. I saved thee. Your guilt saved me, and this, but you betrayed me. I could have loved you. I would have left everything. What have I done? You have made me my father's daughter. Goodbye, witch hunter. And that is the end. That was a lot of words to get through, but that is what happened to Gunther and Tetelo in 1693 in Charleston and set the scene for everything that happened. The Schottenjägers, the Ritter family, lost the source of their power, and it was given to people who were less than nice. And now we can get back to the game. bookstore. So we read the journal. I need to wait for the Rotodrum book. I think maybe we should see if Dr. John at the Voodoo Museum knows anything more. Maybe about Damballa and
I'm outta here.
Badagry.
Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Have fun.
And that guy's still creepy. Voodoo Museum.
Why is it so dark in here? Dr. John? Hello? Uh-oh.
Ooh.
You bastard!
Good day, Mr. Knight.
That thing just tried to kill me.
He did? I am sorry. The museum
Hey,
is
Antoinette.
closed today, you see, and
Thanks
we
for coming
were not
by.
expecting visitors. But if you will excuse me, Mr. Knight, I must go look for him. He is incredibly valuable.
You don't need to ask twice. I'm out of here. By the way, you might want to lock your door next time you're closed.
Not a bad idea. Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Goodbye, Mr. Worf. Alright. I think... Jackson Square. Yeah, I'm doing okay in the quest for affiliate, but I do need a few more followers, yes. Alright. Ooh, the fortune teller who was so creepy yesterday.
It appears that Madame Lorelei has returned.
Let's go talk to Madame Lorelei.
Gabriel should get her attention first.
You're back. You know, you really freaked me out running off like that. Yoo-hoo! Anybody home?
Stay away from Marjagetti, or you shall pay with your life.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah. I don't think things are very nice. But we've got jogging. Jogging is fun. Alright. Oh! Professor Heartrage at the university called. We should go check in with him, see what he's got.
Hey, Hotridge, what's the good word? Hotridge? Ah! Oh, God, not again.
Oh boy. Another one.
Something about Hartridge's death mask reminds Gabriel of the way Crash checked out. Not a pretty ending.
Yeah. Yeah, this... I think things are getting a little too serious. I'm beginning to think that he probably shouldn't have started researching a voodoo book at all.
The shelves behind Dr. Hartridge's desk. On the desk is a sheet of paper with some scribbled notes. It looks recent.
Let's get the notes.
These notes look interesting.
Let's look at the notes. Yes, notes. I always do that backwards.
Hartridge's notes are scribbled on notepad paper.
Those are all words. Some of them we've seen. Okay. Yeah, So all of my allies seem to be, dying. That's less than good.
Before leaving the university, Gabriel notifies campus security about Hartridge's body.
You gotta wonder how that conversation went. Let's go back to the quarter. Cemetery. Is this changed?
The second message made from the voodoo crosses is on the wall.
Ooh. Let's write those down.
Let me get these new marks down.
Maybe Magentia can translate these two.
A sign on the front door of Magentia's home reads, attending a channeling seminar until August 1st.
Of course, when I need somebody, now they're just running out of town.
What happened to you?
Who, me? Nothing. Why?
Well, you're kind of a pale green color. Come here.
Pale green, you say? Charming.
What's that on your face?
I'm sure you'll tell me.
Looks like a sparkly or something. Got it.
I love it when you pick stuff off my face, Grace.
Well, excuse me.
Alright, that was a little creepy. Let's see what it really
There's
was.
a snake scale in the ashtray.
Tweezers.
Looks like the python left me a souvenir. Very interesting.
Okay.
Those two objects. There's Gabriel magnifies the scale from the lake. The iridescent scale is brilliantly hued with greens and purples.
But what about the snake from the Voodoo Museum?
Gabriel magnifies the snake scale from the Voodoo Museum's python. It's hued with purples and greens. It matches the scale from Lake Pontchartrain. He places the two scales together.
Okay. Don't remember what this.
It's a new.
Okay, newspaper clipping. All right. So, I think we found the snake from the crime scene, because it just tried to kill us.
I've got some things I need to do.
Have fun.
I think we need to talk to Mosley now. Ooh. Beignet guy's been replaced by a drummer.
One of the Getty drummers watches the police station. Gabriel checks the two messages for duplicate symbols and transfers the letters from the matches to the new message. He finds that he has the translation for all of the symbols, except for 3.
Okay, let's see
Gabriel sketched a...
what does the new message say. DJ keep, well, that's probably a Y on DK. That's probably a U, but do not heart. Do not heart. It's probably an M. Interesting. Let's go talk to Mosley.
Hey, mostly.
It's you, God help me. Knight, I hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The Voodoo Murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, son of a bitch.
Let's find out about.
Can
the
I ask you
case.
about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
What does he know about
Have you
Dumbala?
ever heard of Dumbala?
You mean Gumbo?
No, I mean Dumbala.
Never heard of it.
Does the name Ogun Badakri mean anything to you?
Say what?
Ogun Badakri. It's a voodoo loa.
Speak English or shut up, Knight.
Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you. Guess I'll take that as a no. Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Sounds like a put on to me.
Do you know anything about rada drums?
No.
They're these African drums, and they're being used all over the French Quarter to send messages for the voodoo cartel.
Yeah, right. When them drums announce a blue light special at OK Mart, let me know.
Yeah, Mosley's right on the case.
Crash is dead.
What? What are you talking about? I let him go yesterday.
Yeah, and I watched him die yesterday at St. Louis Cathedral.
At the cathedral? Guess he was trying to get a last-minute A-train ticket, huh? Poor bastard.
I think you should go find the body at the morgue. He was killed by the voodoo cult. Crash said.
Crash said? Did he mention pink elephants, too?
Aren't you going to investigate?
Civilians. Did you actually see someone kill him?
No. Actually, I was with him when he died. Could have been poison, though.
Yeah, well, when they get the body in, they'll do a quick autopsy. Standard procedure. If it's anything other than an overdose, I'll get a report. But it won't happen. I know these guys. Lock them up overnight, and they tend to overdo it the next day.
Your professionalism is astonishing. There's been another murder. A professor at Tulane.
Oh, Christ, you're not gonna start this again.
Just listen. This guy's name is Hartridge. He was a professor in African studies at Tulane. Yesterday, I went to see him about the voodoo murders case. He agreed to do some research for me. He calls me up this morning, tells me he's onto something big. And when I get over there, the guy's dead.
You know, you're really getting your ass in a sling over this thing, Knight.
It's not about me. Look, Hartridge's death looked just like Crash's. I'm telling you, they were both murdered. And by the same people who did the voodoo murders.
Did either Crash or this new guy have their hearts ripped out?
No.
Then there's nothing to link either to the voodoo murders, M.O. Besides that, the case is closed, Knight. If the coroner's report asks for a homicide investigation on either of these guys, fine. But it's not going to be related to the voodoo murders case unless we find damn good reason to do so.
But I'm the link to the voodoo murders case, don't you see?
Look, if I were you, I wouldn't repeat that to anyone. If I weren't an old friend of yours, I might take you seriously and lock you up. As it is, maybe you should start keeping your mouth shut. Not involve other people with this shit. You think it's so dangerous.
Right. Let's see if we can get him to reopen the case.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, the department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I've got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless. And besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay. You want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to prove there's a legitimate voodoo cult in New Orleans. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
Okay, yeah, that's cut very interestingly so that you can do all three things a bit at a time because that's how adventure games work. Okay, let's see. What can we do to prove that it's a legitimate cult? Maybe Hartridge's notes.
Take a look at these notes. They're from Professor Hartridge at Tulane University.
Yeah? And what about them?
They confirm that the pattern from the murders is of African origin.
This is interesting if true. But how do you know he had the right pattern?
The reconstructed Veve is how I know.
You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Pontchartrain. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So that's what Hartridge used, huh? I guess his analysis is on target then. Okay, the murders were committed by a legitimate voodoo cult. You proved your point.
How do we prove that there's an ongoing threat?
The newspaper clipping, it includes a rough...
Yes. That seems like it'll work.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same M.O. 1810?
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? That they are a threat?
Okay, they're a threat.
Okay, so we proved they're a threat, and now here's our lead.
I have these two snake scales. One's from the crime scene at Lake Pontchartrain. The other's from a snake in the Voodoo Museum on Ursulines and Charters.
Is this common? Do they all look alike?
Not at all. They're both constrictor scales, and the coloring is the same. A python's coloring is quite individualistic.
A python?
That's right. Hardly an indigenous snake to Louisiana. Somehow, some way, the Voodoo Museum's python was at the scene of the Lake Pontchartrain murder.
Well, I'd call that a lead, all right. Certainly suggests certain lines of inquiry at the museum. Not bad work, Knight. If we can tie them into this voodoo cult, we just might have something. Okay, I'll reopen the case. I hate to admit it, but you've done some pretty good detective work here, Knight.
Well, you know what they say. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Well, point taken. Glad I could inspire you. I'll check around the department, but I have a feeling I'm on my own. In fact, I better lock up this office just in case I step on a few toes. Come on. Now, lay low and let me handle this.
Yeah, fine.
You bet. We're gonna lay low. No question. Alright.
It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Dang.
I don't think Molly wants to talk to him right now. And so now we know that yes, this is Gunther, and that's Tetelo. And that's the talisman that has become corrupted. Day 6. Ew.
What is it? What's wrong?
Gabriel?
I see it, Grace. Hold on. There's no one in the shop, and I know there's no one in back. It's okay.
Okay. Gabriel, that thing is still barely alive. How could someone do this?
With a knife, maybe?
God, don't even start. We should call the police.
No. I'll take care of it.
But Gabriel...
I said I'll take care of it. Why don't you go get some coffee? I'll have it all cleaned up before you get back.
They know where you live now.
It's gonna be fine. Now go on. Are you sure you don't want to go home? I could close the shop today.
No. I'd rather keep busy. I'll be fine. At least that creepy guy is gone. Ugh. Not that they aren't still watching. Anyway, speaking of keeping busy, we got that book you ordered in this morning. The one on Rada drums.
Really? Great.
Oh, right. Yes. Happy birthday, Kiss.
Gabriel!
I see it. Stay back.
And now people are dropping random crap. Happy birthday. Let's celebrate it with some sacrifice.
Special delivery, it seems.
Let's see if we can poke it.
Perhaps Gabriel should find out what it is first.
Maybe Gabriel shouldn't actually pick it up. But I guess he's going to.
It's just an envelope.
I can see that.
What's in the envelope? Open the envelope.
Gabriel opens the envelope and finds a note from Mosley and a small brass key.
Key. What's our note from Mosley?
Mosley's note says,
Gabe, I have to go underground with this thing. It runs wide and deep throughout the department and the city board. I'm already being watched. It was suggested I take vacation time, so I am, at least as far as they know. Try to keep out of this. It's too hot for a rookie. Just in case, I'm sending you my office key. You might find some useful things there. P.S. I think this note will look great in the book, don't you? Make sure you save it.
the note is signed, Detective Mosley.
I like how Mosley's still keeping perspective.
Times-Picayune, dated the 23rd of June, 1993.
Happy birthday, Kiss.
Gabriel finds an article about St. Jean's Eve. It discusses the day's Catholic roots and its adoption by voodoo devotees. In the early to mid-1800s, St. Jean's Eve was celebrated with elaborate voodoo gatherings at Lake Pontchartrain, Bayou Saint Jean, and other sites outside the city. These days, the day is commemorated commercially in some of the local shops, and a few churches still hold a St. Jean's Eve Mass. Despite his better judgment, Gabriel reads his horoscope. Today you will either die or your life will change forever.
Sure, why not? It is St. John's Eve. They'll be out tonight for sure. But where?
Gabriel is having a fun time. Coffee? Yes, coffee.
Good coffee.
Excuse me. Alright, where do we want to go first? Let's save the game. Day 6. Alright, let's read the Rada Drum book. That's the Rada Drum book.
The book contains several pages of Rada drum code.
Okay, that is definitely a book of stuff.
Gabriel cannot see any.
Try using the door then.
Are you gonna be okay here by yourself?
I'll be just fine. Just fix this, okay?
I'm trying, Gracie.
There's a drummer still sitting there. Alright. Just gonna sit here. Mind my own business. Maybe read a book.
Gabriel listens carefully to the drums and opens his Rada book to translate.
This is one of the more obscure parts of the book, of the game. Trying to sort out codes, but this one seems like we're calling a conclave. Calling a conclave. We are calling a conclave. We're calling a conclave tonight. And the conclave's going to be at the swamp.
If Gabriel's translation of the drum code is correct, there'll be a conclave tonight in the swamp. That must be the bayou.
Alright, so we know where they're going to be. In the swamp tonight. Let's go check out Mosley's office. I got Mosley's key. This will be fine.
You got no business back there now. Move along.
Sorry.
Oh, come on, Winnie the Pooh. Why are you being mean to me now?
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
Your birthday is just fine. It's just that evil people are doing things on your birthday.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
We don't have a, Detective Mosley here.
What? I've seen him all week.
Listen to what I'm saying. We don't have a Detective Mosley on the force.
About Detective Mosley.
I told you, there's no Mosley here. Now get lost.
That's a pretty good sign as to how deep this conspiracy runs, where now they're even denying that certain people exist. Very sus. So Antoinette, this game is Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. It's an old adventure game, and it's about a guy, Gabriel Knight, who is an author who is doing research on some local murders that have kind of a voodoo flair for them, in order to help give him inspiration for his coming horror novel. And as he investigates, he finds out more and more that the voodoo is a bit deeper and more dangerous than he thought. So, that guy's a jerk. Murder Cult Mystery Game. Nothing better. Can't get in to see Mr. Mosley. Well, he's gone, but... Hey, I know him. That's not the Lucky Dog guy.
The beignet vendor is unlikely to have information that Gabriel needs.
That's no longer the Lucky Dog. That's where the beignet guy went to.
Hello. What can I do for you, sir?
What the heck are beignets, anyway?
Deep-fried sweet dough with powdered sugar on top. New Orleans donuts, sir.
What happened to the guy who used to be here?
The Lucky Dog guy? I took over his spot.
Why? What was wrong with Lucky Dogs?
Say, haven't I seen you before?
I get around the French Quarter. Used to be at Royal and Conti.
You say you used to be at Royale and Conti?
That's right.
Nice place.
Yeah. I always did pretty well there.
Why'd you leave Royal and Conti?
Well, the guy who used to be here, the Lucky Dog guy, he was my cousin Ralph. He went off to college, see, and this spot came open. I thought Jackson Square'd be a better gig, you know? Tourists and all.
Is it?
Well, no, actually.
Yes, murder donuts sound very good. Maybe on your birthday next year, we get you some murder donuts. I think that would be good.
Why don't you go back there?
Do you think? I've been kind of torn. Must be the weather. These thick clouds we've had all week. I'm just not seeing the crowds here that I expected.
I definitely think you should go back to Royal and Conti.
Really? I'm glad you think so. I always liked that beat, but I thought I ought to give this a shot.
Oh, absolutely. The grass is always greener.
Exactly. You're right. I'm going back over there today.
Yeah. But did Steve from Blue's Clues get replaced by murder donuts? That, I think, is the real question.
Hey, it's a beignet guy. He's back.
Where?
The goal of this game is to... Yeah, the goal of this game is to basically try and find out who's committing the voodoo murders, stop them, not die. Solve the mystery.
Grab me 3 or 4, would ya?
Forget it, I'm broke.
Rats. You stay put. I'll be back in a minute.
Let's see. Can we get into his office real quickly? Run, Gabe, run. Yay. Alright. Mosley said he left me
Mosley's
something.
desk has more groin on it than on his head.
There is actually a second bit to that. If you don't make it in time before he gets back with the beignets, he has so many beignets that he falls asleep. So you still have an opportunity to get in.
Logs of unsolved cases, perhaps? Mosley must have 1,000,000 of them. The key, whatever, if Gabriel put, if Mosley, Mosley, logs, logs, Mosley's desk.
I know.
The key doesn't. If
One of
Gabriel
these.
put. Gabriel.
One of these drawers
Gabriel
is locked. I know it.
Nah. Gabriel.
That is so weird.
An intercom. Lock. Mosley's desk has more groin on it than on his head.
I maybe missed something. That's always a possibility, but... Oh, there we go. It's not locked. I'm missing the obvious commands. There's so many cursor icons.
This tracker might come in handy.
That's what I needed. I just needed to open the drawer. I knew it was in the drawer. Tracker. So here's my
This
tracker.
device is called a tracker. Gabriel remembers a time when he and Mosley used it illegally with a couple of babes in a white convertible. It operates as follows. The signal device attaches to an object, such as a car. The signal device emits a signal that appears on the tracker, LED, allowing the object to be tracked. It's a signal device for the tracker.
All right, so that, I hope, is everything that we need. Because I may not get back in there.
Hey, get out of there, you.
Sorry, just looking for a restroom.
Yeah, I'm just in the office of a guy you've never heard of who doesn't work here. It's an empty office. What's your problem? Alright. So now, I know that the conclave is happening in the swamp, but the swamp's a big place. So, how do we ensure that we can actually find it?
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
Yeah. Sorry your plot to kill me didn't work. Not Mr. Wharf
Could
guy.
I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
What do you know
Have
about
you ever
Damballa?
heard of Damballa?
Of course. It is one of the law.
What can you tell me about the lower Damballa?
Damballa is a snake lore. It originated in Africa. and is also worshipped heavily in Haiti, I believe.
Do you worship Dambala?
Mr. Knight, in voodoo, all of the Loa are given their due respect.
Are you sure you don't know anything about Ogun Badagri?
I am afraid I have little else to say about that subject.
I don't remember actually asking him about it before.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
There are some against the wall, but I do not play myself.
You don't know anything about a drum code?
I do not believe there is such a thing, Mr. Knight.
At this point, since he's tried to kill me, I don't actually care if he knows that I'm onto him.
Do you know Malia Getty?
Should I?
She referred me to your museum.
Many have read about our museum in the newspapers, Mr. Knight.
That's a good point. Are you sure you don't know Malia Getty?
Quite sure, Mr. Knight.
Yeah. This guy, I don't trust him.
Professor Hartridge said that in Voodoo, a small ritual coffin is called a seke module.
Oh.
This is a seke madule, isn't it? A small ritual coffin?
I am not familiar with that terminology.
Really? I find that odd.
You may find it odd if you wish, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, now you can clearly tell that he's lying. I wonder if we put that in there.
Gabriel slips the signal device into the seke module.
Can I assist you, Mr. Knight?
No, just looking.
Now, if only they take the coffin to the ritual.
How can we make that happen?
I hate to rush you, Mr. Knight, but I am afraid I must close the museum early this evening. This is St. John's Eve, and it's getting on towards dusk. I have things I must do.
I see. No problem. I'll just
Leave. Goodbye, Mr. Knight. May the spirits guard you well tonight.
How do we make sure it gets there? What if we left a message?
The
So we still got the second message. I don't think a good friend would like us mucking up the tomb, so we'll wait for him to go. Questions? You have questions, Giznogs? What are your questions? I can in fact explain everything why I'm doing it. We need to write a
I
message.
think I'll leave a message of my own.
Yeah. I want Dr. John to... Oh yeah, no, he's definitely not sus. Definitely, I totally trust him. I lost track. Alright. DJ. And I want him to... be RING. Oh, think. DJ. Let's try this. Conclave tonight. Bring. And now we just need to go. Sick. Okay. And I need some M. A. D. O. U. L. I messed up and I kind of have to start all over. Yeah, this is a bit complex. So, I'm still going to the conclave tonight. And we want to bring, I think I spelled it wrong, S-E-K. Y M A D O U L E.
Pleased with his message, Gabriel tosses the break down. Now, if only DJ reads it in time.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, I only am able to do that because I kind of know exactly what the message needs to say. So now we should be able to get the tracker to the conclave, and I just need to make sure.
Phew, it's humid out there. Made it back though.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
Need to make sure that I look the part when I go there.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
I did save. I totally did save. And I think I need Grace's help. Grace is an artist.
Will you do me a favor?
What?
Use your paints to copy this snake tattoo onto my chest.
Now, why on earth would you want me to do that?
I'm going to a party tonight. Costume, you know.
You don't say. I guess you're going with Maya.
Yeah, that's right.
And why should I help you out? We don't even like Maya.
Yeah, I think she's jealous.
Well, if you're jealous about my feelings for her...
You know that's not it. I just think, as your friend, that she's trouble.
It's perfectly understandable. I know you have certain feelings for me, quite naturally.
Me? I would rather be hung by my hair over a bed of scorpions.
I know it must be hard having it in your face like this. No chance to avoid hearing about it, seeing it day by day.
Fine, I'll do it. Just shut up. Can we at least go in the back?
Sure, but could you say that one more time and pout your lips more?
Ugh.
What did I say?
All right, let's go. The shirt, please.
You don't know how long I've been waiting for this moment.
Now.
He is such a lech.
Hold still.
Maybe you'd like to tie me up?
Ooh.
One more remark, and I'm leaving.
Okay, okay.
Done. It's just stunning.
Sorry I couldn't make it last longer.
Well, it was about what I expected from you.
Grace gives back good. Alright. So I think I might actually have everything I need to go to the bayou, maybe.
I've got some things I need to do.
Good luck.
Yep. Bayou St. John. Save my shit. Let's check the tracker.
Gabriel pulls out the tracking device, hoping that the shaky module made it to the ritual and that this thing will work.
All right. There's a blip. They must be here with the Seike Madule.
Alright. So now we gotta find the blip.
Didn't he just come from that direction?
I might get lost in the swamp.
Gabriel hopes this track
Wander
down
around the
Mosley
swamp.
and his infernal machine.
Let's move this way.
Gabriel can barely focus on the LED with those drums in his head. He hopes he's
Alright, keep going this way.
down Mosley and his infernal machine. Gabriel can barely focus on the LED with those drums in his head. He hopes
I think we're getting slowly closer. I hope.
Didn't he just come from that direction? Or did he?
Alright.
Gabriel can barely focus on the LED.
Getting close. Okay. Let's gear up.
When in Rome. Here goes nothing.
Okay.
Welcome, Brother Crocodile. Please join the other celebrants.
Yes, Dr. John. Brother Eagle.
But first,
Subtle.
name the
Subtle.
great serpent who crushes all in his coils.
Great serpent is Damballa.
Damballa.
You are correct, Brother Crocodile. Who is the destroyer of men?
That is Buddha, perhaps. That is Ogun Badagri.
Ogun Badagri.
You are correct, Brother Crocodile. Enjoy yourself well tonight.
I hope Twitch doesn't bother me about these very pixelated boobies. this is all bringing up the dream.
Gabriel!
Malia?
I know. I can smell his blood in your veins.
No.
You cannot change your destiny, or ours.
No.
I will find you. I will destroy you.
No!
Where is your necklace now, witch hunter? Where are your pretty, pretty gems?
Yeah. So, Malia Getty is the head of the Secret Voodoo Cartel. It's a good match for Gabriel. And of course, she's being driven to do what she does by Tetelo, who is... We just went into great detail about who Tetelo is.
Gabriel! Gabriel, wake up!
Ow, my head.
It's about time. I've been trying to wake you for hours. There's no time to lose.
I had another dream.
It wasn't a dream, believe me. Now come on, get dressed.
Wait a minute. I'm starting to remember. Something about Malia.
She's the head priestess of the Voodoo Cartel. They're responsible for the murders. They've been doing it for years.
Malia? Last night she was the leopard. Like in my dreams, Grace.
I know. Those dreams were a warning. Now come on, get dressed.
But last night, Malia changed. She became someone, something else. And then I blacked out, I think. How'd I get home?
I followed you last night. I had my doubts about the Gettys. Did you know that they arrived in New Orleans in 1800? Just in time for the voodoo influx. I knew you were going to try to sneak into a ceremony last night, so I followed you. Lucky for you that I did. If you'd been left at the circle last night, I don't know what she would have done to you.
You're wrong. Malia wouldn't hurt me.
What about Tetelo?
Tetelo? They were chanting that last night. That's the name from Gunter's journal. The woman who took the talisman.
Yes. Gabriel, it's your destiny you're facing. You can't just blunder your way through this or you'll end up dead. Tetelo will be after you now. You have to call your great uncle in Germany.
Uncle Wolfgang?
Yes. He knows more about this than we do.
Okay, I'll call him. But Malia isn't responsible for those things, Grace. It's that spirit, that Loa. It's Tetelo.
Yeah. Possession is convenient that way. Call Wolfgang, Gabriel. I'll be in the shop.
So yeah, so it was a very fun birthday that you had, Kiss and Hugs. Very fun birthday. Now we're up to day 7. Let's get the phone. Call Uncle Wolfie. I wrote down the number, but I can't actually read it. Okay.
Guten Tag. Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
This is Gabriel Knight. Can I speak to Wolfgang, please?
Ja, Herr Knight. Einen Moment, bitte.
Gabriel, it's so good to hear your voice. I had such a dream last night.
There's a good reason for that, Uncle Wolfgang. We need to talk.
Gabriel fills in Wolfgang on the events of the previous evening.
Ah, it is even worse than I thought.
You bet it is. We have to talk about what I'm supposed to do.
I like how we haven't seen him, so he's just a shadowy figure, but we still get to do the full interrogation.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
It sounds as though you have learned much during your investigation in New Orleans. Perhaps you will fill me in when we have a chance to sit down and talk.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I know only what you have told me. They seem to be very similar to the killings in Gunther's journal.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It was just another American city to me until I started dreaming about you. Now I feel it is not safe for you there. I wish you would leave.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I have not studied the subject. I have an intense dislike for them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I'm afraid I've never heard of it.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
No, I'm afraid not.
I've heard rumors of a secret hound fool here in New Orleans.
Yeah, I am sure they have a temple there, and probably a very elaborate one. You should not go near it, though. Not alone.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Yes. Tetlos people wear animal masks for their rituals, don't they? It is not at all uncommon. Many occult groups are based heavily on animal totems. Animals have such pure, primal traits. Spirituality, good or bad, is about reaching these pure levels. Aggressive and cunning like the snake. Agile and nurturing like the monkey. Even our family is associated with the image of a lion.
Do you know anything about Veves?
It is a visual symbol of one or more loa. Each loa has its own sign, which is used to summon it.
Do you know anything else about Veves?
I've already given you what limited knowledge I have on the subject.
I like how he's not really directly involved in stuff, but he still knows a lot of things on a lot of subjects.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Damballa is a snake. He is a loa, a voodoo god.
Yes. He's one of the primary loa of the Gedi tribe.
I see. Good work. That information might prove useful.
Does the name Ogun Badakri mean anything to you?
It is a voodoo loa, is it not?
Yes, a particularly nasty one, so I understand. Have you come across anything about it in your research?
He seems to be feared by most voodoo groups. I haven't come across very much specific information.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
My library contains many books on the occult and religions, and I have read about some particularly evil voodoo cults. But you, at this point, have more direct experience than I.
I skipped that one.
Do you know anything about
Let's
Rada
ask about
drums?
Rada drums.
Rada drums? You mean ceremonial drums?
Yes.
We
the Gedi tribe
are talking
uses
to
drummers
our
around the French court
great
as
uncle
relay messengers
who
to
lives
keep
in
track
Germany.
of their business.
Those drums have a ceremonial use, too. It would be useful to know their code, Gabriel.
I had Grace find some information on them.
That's my boy.
Yeah, this guy is Gabriel's grandfather's brother. And we will find a lot about him soon. And now we get to find out what Schottenjäger means.
What can you tell me about Schattenjägers?
Yes, of course. I sometimes forget how little you know of the family, Gabriel. I never understood how Heinz could allow his sons to remain ignorant. But now is not the time for that discussion. Schattenjäger is really two words in English, Gabriel. Schatten means shadow, and Jäger means hunter.
Shadow hunter?
Yes, shadow hunter.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We Ritters have been Schattenjägers for many centuries. No one is sure when it began or how, but we have records of ancestors as early as the 13th century fulfilling this role. Some believe that the role was given us when... But such fantasies cannot be of use to you at the moment, Gabriel.
That's funny. I do actually know what moment he's talking about. Because it does come up in Gabriel Knight 3. It is actually very fascinating.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
Most people are completely blind to the fact that evil does exist. It is out of vogue at the present, but I tell you, shadows of darkness, spirits, vampires, witches, demons, these things are real. It is to their advantage that the world has become so scientific, so cynical. But we know they exist, Gabriel, and we hunt them.
How do we hunt them? And why?
Why? Because it is our duty. We are the ones who know, Gabriel. As for how, that is something you will have to learn. But it is not easily explained over the phone.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We can talk more about that later, Gabriel. For now, you know enough.
Tell me about yourself.
I hope there will be time for that later, Gabriel, after this is all over. For now, we must deal with the matter at hand.
Okay, I guess he's not going to tell us much about himself.
Tell me about Tetelo.
Well, from your description
Yes, they are
the
kind of
ritual
witchers,
last night,
yes.
I'd say that Gunther's mistress, Tetelo, is now the primary loa for the Gedde tribe. It seems she still controls them by possessing her female descendants and speaking through them. Do you remember in Gunther's journal he said that Tetelo was possessed by her father's loa during the killings in Charleston?
This sounds similar, but Tetelo has obviously become a much more powerful Loa than her father ever was. Probably because of the added power of the talisman.
So, yeah, I've actually never made that connection before, but you're kind of spot on. They're basically modern-day witchers. Just without the super sword work.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
I believe she truly loved Gunther. After all, she was raised to be her father's daughter. Their religion was not a choice she made, but a duty she endured. How can she be blamed for that? The spirit she has become, that is a different matter. It is utterly evil. I am certain that the lower Tetela bears little resemblance to the woman Tetela was before the burning in Charleston.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably did not deserve Gunther's betrayal. But the Tetelo we fight now is more akin to her tribe's dark gods than to anything human in nature.
Tell me more about Tetelo.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably did not deserve Gunther's betrayal. But the Tetelo we fight now is more akin to her tribe's dark gods than to anything human in nature.
Let's talk about the talisman.
I myself have only seen it in old sketches and paintings, and in my dreams. It was in the family for centuries before Tetelo took it. It is believed to be as old as the role of Schattenjäger itself. The talisman has genuine power. I don't know how or why, but it is so. The Schattenjägers swore to use the power for good, never for evil. For defense, not offense. Since it fell into Tetlo's hands, I'm afraid to think what the power has been used for, or what it will be used for in the future. With the talisman, Tetlo has all the power and we none. The only possible way to fight her is to regain the talisman. Then we will at least be on more equal footing.
How can we regain the talisman?
We've been searching for the talisman for years, ever since we lost it. It's a terrible thing to know that something powerful that was entrusted to us is in the wrong hands. The talisman is probably buried with Tetlo's remains. That's what gives her Loa so much power.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the talisman?
The most important thing about the talisman is that it be once again in the hands of the Schattenjägers.
How would we find Tetelo's remains?
Ha! We have pondered that question a long time, the Ritters. There are two probabilities. The first is that her remains are with the tribe at their current location. The other is that the remains were returned to a sacred place near the tribe's original homeland. We've tried to locate Tetlo's African homeland, but Gunter says so little in his journal about her tribe, and slaving records are practically non-existent. Also, Tetlo's tribe was utterly destroyed in its African form in the late 17th century. There was nothing like a census in Africa then. As for the other idea, we had no clue as to where Tetlo's people went after fleeing Charleston, until now.
How would we find Tetelo's remains again?
We must locate the tribe's original African homeland. Her remains might be there, or they might be in New Orleans, buried among her descendants.
Let's discuss the possible African homeland.
All right. Have you learned anything that might help us locate it?
I spoke with the Professor Hartridge. Unfortunately for him, he thinks the tribe's name was Agri, and that they lived near the Fon tribe in what is now called the People's Republic of Benin.
That is incredible, Gabriel. I must go research this new information in my library right now.
Wait, what should I do?
Stay low. If you get a chance, you might look into the possibility that Tetlo's remains are somewhere in New Orleans. But don't try to broach their private areas without my assistance, Gabriel. You will make a fine Schattenjäger, but only if you are not dead.
Sure, I'll wait.
Wise then, Gabriel. And remember, if you need a place of safety, come to Schloss Ritter.
Goodbye, Uncle Wolfgang.
Getty Tomb seems like a logical place to start. It may be a little too obvious, but it does seem like a logical place to start. And that was a very big conversation, so I'm gonna save again. Save my shit. Right. Let's read the paper. Newspaper.
Times-Picayune, dated June 24th, 1993. There's nothing about the Voodoo murders case in the papers today. Gabriel finds a humorous tidbit under the Life is Stranger Than Fiction column. Apparently, there were reports of ghosts in the Bayou Saint Jean last night. Various people called the newspaper with stories about hearing strange noises and seeing weird lights over the swamp. Some folks claim it's the ghost of Marie Laveau. The paper relates it to similar delusions that crop up every Halloween. Gabriel's horoscope today reads, "Wise is the warrior who knows when to fight and when to get the hell out of dodge."
God help me, I'm actually starting to listen to this guy.
Yes, Gabriel's horoscopes are remarkably on point. Don't think Grace has anything new for me, but let's find out.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Nope. None right now.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
Nothing.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Have a nice day, Grace. I'll actually check. Alrighty. So, we have interviewed everybody in the game except for one person. A link to the game is in like where you can get it or where you can get more information about it.
I'm going out for a bit.
Be careful.
Get it? I actually got it from GOG.com. which has long hosted old games, you know, them starting as good old games. I think it is also available on Steam as well. This is the original version of the game. There is, they did a remake of it in 2013 for its 20th anniversary, which is a pretty good remake. I prefer the original, but the remake's pretty good too. But both are available on GOG. I think they're both available on Steam as well. So they're actually pretty easy to get. Oh yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. This is a lot of fun if you're into this kind of game. It's got such a great story with great characters.
Posted on the door of the museum is a sign saying, closed until further notice.
Yeah. Oh, we don't want to go see Dr. John anymore, I guess. Oh, I'm surprised we could go to the Getty Estate. This should be fun. This should be fun.
Ms. Getty is unavailable, Mr. Knight.
Oh, that was nice. Thanks, Tim Curry, for telling Tim Curry that he can't come in. Grandma!
No one answers Gran's front door, but a note sticking from the mail slot bears Gabriel's name. The note is from Gran and says that she's taken a short trip out of town on Grace's advice. Good old Grace.
Very well done, Grace. Grace needs a raise, but I'm not entirely sure I'm paying her. Quarter. I think actually the best place to go. Dress as a priest. Oh, to try to get in the Getty Estate, maybe, but I don't know. Tim Curry Butler might be too smart for that. I don't think I actually need to come here. I think your suggestion of checking out the Getty Tomb is probably the best lead we have. All right. I don't think I want to talk to Granddad and find out why he did this to me. Ooh.
The plate is up. Beneath the plate is a button.
A button. We must press the button. Because we always press the buttons.
Gabriel hears the faint sound of breaking glass.
Well, that's not good.
Damn. You'd think there'd be a light.
Well, it's dark. It's a good thing I have a flashlight that I picked up early in the game and never used. What's that?
There's broken glass on the floor.
Huh. Well, that's consistent with hearing the sound of broken glass moments ago. This one right in the center.
That drawer is marked with a pattern like the VV.
Mosley.
Oh.
I dropped my flashlight.
Huh? Oh no.
Ouch, my head. What the hell was that?
Now Mosley's gone. Now Mosley's real gone. I know. I know. It's somebody killed Luke Skywalker.
There's a wallet in the drawer. It must have fallen from Mosley's jacket when the body was moved. Gabriel doesn't see anything there he wants to take home.
Let's get out of here. Let's look.
It's a man's wallet.
Yes, it is.
Gabriel opens the wallet and finds some ID belonging to Mosley and an American's repressed card. Mosley's American's repressed card. Credit. What a concept.
That is spot on satire right there. Let me tell you, spot on satire.
Where have you been? I was worried about you.
For good reason, apparently.
What happened? Do you need a doctor?
Nothing you want to know about, and no, just some aspirin.
Gabriel, this is nuts. You have to get out of New Orleans.
No kidding.
Well, listen. Wolfgang called while you were out. He said, and I quote, "Tell Gabriel that I found what I was looking for. It's time for me to do my duty. Schloss Ritter is his now." Now, call me crazy, but I don't think that's good news.
Not for Uncle Wolfie, no.
What are you gonna do?
If I figure it out, I'll let you know.
That's not good. Wolfgang, I don't even know what he gave me. What is a Schloss Ritter? I need to get the hell out of town. But I might as well save game again, because save early, save often. Alright, need to get out of town.
Somewhere.
I need a pen again. One moment, please. Pen right here. Convenient. This was very nice. See the World Travel Agency. That's how you get a travel agent on the C page of your phone book. Well, at least something interesting happened when you suggested going there. You know, it was a fun time until Mosley got killed.
You've already got me, you lucky devil. I'm doing the best I can.
Thanks, Gabe.
Hey, I'll ask the questions around here. Don't ask me, I'm even less informed than you.
Yeah, this is fun.
Handsome, isn't he?
If I want to open up, I'll go to a shrink.
Move, Gabriel. Try the walk icon.
Thanks for the tip, narrator. I think you actually spoiled the fun a bit there.
You've already...
I want the phone. Alright.
Yeah, what do you want?
Sorry. I think I have a wrong number.
Good.
I thought that was the right number. Let's look. Oh. It's the only number we dial that isn't 555. Of course. Of course.
Hello. See the World Travel Agency. How may I help you?
How much for a trip to Rittersburg, Germany?
Rittersburg, Germany? Hold on, let me look that up. I can fly you into Munich. That's the closest airport to Rittersburg. You can rent a car from there, or take the train. Let's see. The best price I can see for the flight is $1,400. What would you like to do?
Yeah, Mosley won't mind. He's not going to have to
Charge it
pay
to
the
my
bill.
Americans repressed.
Yes, sir. And your name was?
Mosley.
Feeling a little guilty, Gabriel gives the travel agent Mosley's card number and is informed that he can pick up his ticket at the New Orleans International Airport.
Guess what? I'm going to Germany.
Really? That's great, but how on earth could you afford?
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Oh my God. I wouldn't like the sound of that even if you were a man.
I miss you too, Grace.
I love Grace. Love Grace so much.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Good luck. Let me know what's going on, will you?
Of course.
Alright, time to get the hell out of Dodge. Airport.
Gabriel picks up his tickets at the airport and boards a plane for Munich.
It's Indiana Jones mode. Many people pointed out the fact that
Wolfgang?
Hello. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Herr Knight. Oh, kommen Sie bitte, Herren. I mean, come in, please, Herr Knight. I was not expecting you. Has Wolfgang sent you here?
Uncle Wolfgang? No, I came to see him. Isn't he here?
No, he is gone. I'm sorry. You came all this way.
Oh, great. That's all I need.
Herr Knight, Wolfgang told me all about you and gave me instructions for you to feel welcome here. Please, this is your home. You are a Ritter, no? I am just doing some work. I will continue and you may make yourself comfortable. If there is anything you need, please ask me. You may use Wolfgang's bedroom. It is at the top of the stairs.
Thank you, Miss,
You may call me Gerda, Herr Knight.
yeah, there were actually complaints when the game came out because a lot of people pointed out that in the middle of June, it would not be snowing like that in Germany. Now we're at a castle.
The great hall of Schloss Ritter towers around Gabriel. He can imagine the heating bills. A few tapestries hang on the wall. Gabriel isn't sure if they mean something or if they're just good insulation. The great hall. A few ancient weapons adorn the hall. A large handcraft dagger hangs on the wall. It looks quite old, but it's been polished to a high shine.
Hey, Orc. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, it's been a fun time. Many things have happened. We're in Germany now because we're at the family home.
this dagger.
It is the knife of a Schattenjäger. You may take it, Herr Knight. Everything in this castle is yours now.
Yeah, apparently the castle's mine. I came to see Uncle Wolfgang, and Uncle Wolfgang isn't here. He went somewhere else. He said he had to do his duty, and yeah, so he went somewhere. Yes, Kiss and Hug's birthday is a murder holiday, but only in New Orleans. So,
Wolfgang's bedroom would hold Gabriel's entire studio 4 times over. Not exactly cozy, but Gabriel could get used to it. Near the bed is an elaborate wooden door. The head of a lion stares at Gabriel from above the door. Either Wolfgang left very recently, or Gertie feels quite at home in this room herself. At the foot of the bed is a small table.
wonder what's in here.
It's locked.
I wonder if Mosley's office door key will open it.
Somehow, Gabriel does not think that that's the right key.
Yeah, it didn't seem likely.
Gerda is young and quite attractive.
Of course she is. Of course she is. That's small talk, Gerda.
So, what do you do when you're not puttering around the castle?
Every day I go to Riddersburg to do the daily shopping and visit my friends.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
I'll bet you anything that Gerda doesn't know anything about voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Wolfgang is the only one who would know about that.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
What murders?
In New Orleans.
Oh, I have not heard of them. I am sorry.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I have never left Germany, Herr Knight. Perhaps someday you will tell me about it.
Do you know anything about snakes?
We do have snakes here in Germany, but I do not know much about them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I have never heard of such a day.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans Coeur means?
That is not in a language I understand. So sorry.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fool?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
I'm sensing a trend.
Do you know anything about...
That is something...
I asked that.
Do you know anything about Veves?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
I just always feel compelled to ask all the questions of everybody.
Does the name Ogun Badakri mean anything to you?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
That is something Wolfgang would know about, Herr Knight.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
Is that some sort of music? I do not know much about music, but I like the Beatles.
Yeah, Orc, the VOD will go up shortly after I end stream, so you'll be able to catch up on everything you missed.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
As Wolfgang may have told you, Schattenjäger means shadow hunter. The Ritter family have always been Schattenjägers. It is a kind of priesthood, though not as restrictive as most.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
Each Schattenjäger passes on his knowledge to a younger man in the Ritter line when the time is right.
You'll have to forgive, there's a bit of a boring part in the middle of the stream where I went through some backstory. Took a little while, but it was significant, so there's that.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
I am sure Wolfgang meant for you to take his place someday as Schattenjäger.
Of course he did. I'm the only one left.
Tell me what you know about Schattenjägers.
I am sure
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersburg, the village below the castle.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm not well-traveled, but Wolfgang has been kind and has tutored me in many subjects. It was from him I learned to speak English. He must have sensed you were coming, Herr Knight, and that you would have need of me.
Tell me something about yourself.
I'm very devoted to my position here with Wolfgang.
Tell me
Bet you
something
are.
about yourself.
I love Rittersburg. No place on earth could be as beautiful.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersburg, the village below the castle.
Tell me about Wolfgang.
What would you like to know?
Where do you think Wolfgang went?
I don't know, but I have a feeling he has gone off to go be Schattenjäger again. He is too old for such chasing around. His heart is very weak. He has not left this castle for 5 years, and now this.
Do you know when he'll be back?
I only pray he will be back. Before he left, he said Schloss Ritter now belongs to Gabriel. It worried me so to hear him say that. I'm afraid Wolfgang knew he would never return.
What is Wolfgang like?
Wolfgang is a truly wise and good man, the best I have ever known. But his life has been so full of disappointments.
What kind of disappointments?
His only son died in infancy, so there was no one to carry on the family line. And the family's financial troubles have been hard on him. Wolfgang wanted to do so much for the world, but it was all he could do just to hold on to Schloss Ritter. He has not left his mark as he wished to.
What is your relationship with Wolfgang?
Herr Knight, my relationship with your uncle is really none of your business.
Huh.
You're right, Gerda. I apologize. Forget I asked.
Huh.
Can you show me Wolfgang's library?
How do you know about his library?
When we talked on the phone, he said he was going to do some research in his library. I thought maybe if I saw what he was researching.
Ah, yeah. A good idea, Herr Knight, but I'm afraid I cannot show you the library. You see, I have never been in it. Only a Schattenjäger can enter the library.
I see.
Only a Schattenjäger knows how to read. Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised that not all the German is precise. At least they got Schloss right, and Schattenjäger is Shadowhunter, so that's something.
Just tell me anything.
Wolfgang has dedicated his entire life to the role of Schattenjäger.
Just tell me anything.
He has not had a very happy life, but I have done my best to provide him with a little comfort.
Just tell me anything.
He thought he was the last of the Ritter line until he found out about you.
Just tell me anything.
He knows the history of the Ritter family from many centuries past.
Just tell me anything.
He's a good man, a strong man. I am fond of him.
Just tell me anything.
Wolfgang has dedicated his entire...
Oh, nothing, never mind.
As you like, Herr Knight.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
I can tell you what they say in the village, what I heard when I was small. To the villagers, the Ritters are little, how do you say, tragic, to be pitied. They say that the Ritters were chosen by God to fight evil, but something happened. One of them was cursed, and so the Ritters lost the way. They struggle still, but like a lame dog, you see? Without the power or magic they once had.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
There are legends of how powerful the family once was, of some of their mighty deeds, of the richness of the castle, and in turn, Rittersburg itself. But at the end of the 17th century, that all changed. Since then, the Ritters and Rittersburg have been in decline.
I believe that. Kiss and Hugs is definitely Germany.
Tell me something about the
Concur.
Ritter family.
It is a troubled family, Herr Knight. That much I know.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter has stood for many centuries. No one knows how long. It was once the pride of Bavaria, but now it is in disrepair. Wolfgang received offers to open the castle for tourists. He has resisted, though, even though the castle is in desperate need of repairs. To him, this ground is sacred.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
The castle has many, many rooms and passages, Herr Knight. Most have been closed off and are decaying in the dark and damp. Only a few rooms have been kept up due to the cost.
Didn't Wolfgang mention a library?
There is a library, but I've never been in it. There are places in the castle where only the master is allowed to go.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter is the center from which the Schattenjägers have always gone out to battle the forces of evil.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter is the center.
Right. Thank you, Gertie. Ooh, what's this on the ground?
It's a shake of salt. At the moment, Gabriel can't think of a need for the salt.
But it's salt. Don't we all like salt, except for those of us who can't have it? What is this place?
Perhaps it's an illusion caused by the colored lights from the window. But this chapel gives Gabriel a sense of something truly mystical. 3 panels hang from each side of the chapel. Gabriel cannot determine what their purpose might be. A magnificent stained glass window depicts the legendary battle between Saint George and the dragon.
I wonder what Gerda knows about this place.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
The chapel.
What can you tell me about those wall panels in the chapel?
The hangings? They describe the Schattenjäger initiation ceremony.
Tell me about the Schattenjäger initiation ceremony.
Each young man of the Ritter line must go through the ceremony when he dedicates himself to be a Schattenjäger.
But what does the ceremony do?
I do not know, Herr Knight. The only people present are the old Schattenjäger and the new. But I think it must be similar to a priest's ordination or a wedding, a ceremony of intent and oath.
You.
Is there a problem, Herr Knight?
You said wedding. I'm okay now. Is there anything else you can tell me about that initiation ceremony?
I really do not know any more about it, Herr Knight.
But it does seem important. Let's look at the panels again.
According to Gerda, the panels outline the Schattenjäger's initiation ceremony. The first panel shows hands and water. The second panel shows hair and a knife. The third panel shows a chalice on a table with ocean waves in the background. The fourth panel shows a knife and a few drops of blood. The fifth panel shows someone kneeling. The sixth panel shows a scroll.
I think we're gonna need to do an initiation ceremony. Oh. Well, maybe I've actually been going for a while. Maybe it is time for me to just save it and we can do the initiation another time. And I will just find somebody to raid. It could be too much salt. That is definitely not a good thing. So let's find somebody to raid. And then you can have get some rest. I just need to remember how to do stuff. Hey, yeah, this is me. Hi, still me. Let's see. Who's on? Is anybody I know on? Oh, let's raid Alan. Yeah, let's give Alan a raid. And yeah, let's do that. Thanks everybody for coming. Really appreciate all the support as always. Orc Swag, I'll put the VOD up soon so that you can get caught up. And yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you, Moscow. Everybody have a good night, and I will stream again soon. I don't think I know how to do the raid command. I was doing it differently before. No, that's okay. I was actually getting a little tired. Kiss and hug, so that's perfectly fine. There we go. Oh, yeah, that let's try that. /raid. There we go. That's the way we do it. Alright, everybody. Thanks for coming. I will see you guys again. Next time I stream, probably going to end up finishing this game. So that'll be fun.
Welcome, welcome. Sorry. Are you talking to me? And Torchlight subbing at tier 1, thank you so much. And you guys, I'll be keen to, as we get into the running process, I'll be more than happy to take suggestions and blah, 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 because this is all just free flow. Free flow. Well, let's think about what the overriding story is first. Just keep it really simple. I think the idea is to keep this really, really simple because it's not about necessarily what the overall story is. But you just kind of want to gauge what its